Number 10. Lancetfish. The lancetfish was a rare fish to encounter. This was very simply because of the fact that fishermen could never reach them for one reason or another, and thus the only true way to find them was if they were washed up on shore after dying, which honestly applies to a lot of sea creatures, both bizarre and non. Over the last few years though, that's started to change. Fishermen are using different techniques now, and lancetfish are being caught more and more frequently, much to the joy of scientists who are using the fish to learn more about the oceans. What really makes the lancetfish so special though isn't its rarity, but that it lives in a part of the ocean where the light of the sun barely reaches at all. Known as the midnight zone, there the waters of the ocean are pitch black, meaning that fish either have to create their own light or use their other senses to get around. So it's a fish that is more than happy to be without light, and that's a bit bizarre in context. The fishermen who were lucky enough to catch them put them back into the ocean due to their inability to survive in things like aquariums, adding yet another bizarre fact to a pretty bizarre and frightening looking fish. Oh, and if you need a reason to never seek out this fish, it's believed to be both very aggressive and cannibalistic in nature. Some even refer to it as nature's Hannibal. Number 9. Tiger shark with an arm inside. In 1935, a pair of brothers decided to go fishing off of the coast of Australia. While off in the waters near Sydney, they decided to bait their lines, leave them in the water, and then go to sleep. When they woke up, they found their fishing line frayed and a bunch of fish parts all over it. When they reeled it in, there was a tiger shark attached to it, and it was still alive. The brothers took the shark to shore, but the tiger shark wouldn't settle down, nor die. So the brothers gave it to a nearby aquarium, which objectively might have been the best thing for this shark, given what was about to happen next. You see, a little while after being given to the aquarium, the shark went and threw up. Nothing wrong with that, right? Except what he threw up was a human arm. Now, being fair, tiger sharks are known to attack humans, and what's more, if a tiger shark was to go around and eat a human, they would naturally have some body parts within them. It's just rare that we get to that point in regards to seeing the parts come back out. But that's not the only bizarre thing that happened with this shark. Examination of the arm found that the victim was most definitely not dead in the ocean somewhere, as the arm was cut off by a knife and a tattoo on the arm was able to be identified and tied to the death of a former boxer turned police informant, Jim Smith. He decided to blackmail some people and got killed for his troubles. The arm was kept as proof of the deed, and then, once done, the killers threw it into the ocean. This arm actually helped solve the mystery of Smith's death. So, while a bit disgusting and incredibly bizarre in how these random events led to a case being solved, some good came about because the shark upchucked an arm. Number 8. The Mud Dweller. This particular fisherman tale is of a frightening mud-dwelling creature that man wouldn't know what to do with upon seeing it. Andrew Rose was fishing in the Northern Territory's Kakadu National Park when he snagged a 15-centimeter long worm goby, a rare, mud-dwelling fish with no eyes, a bony head, and sharp teeth. So again, not something you would know what to do with because your natural instinct might be to call it a monster. It looked prehistoric, Rose told Guardian Australia. It looked like something you see in the movies. The lure wasn't swimming right. I pulled it and it had this strange-looking fish on it. We didn't know what it was. We took photos, took him off the hook, and put him back in the water. While the creature was eventually identified correctly, the angler, his friend, and many people who saw the creature online via the pictures had another notion, mainly that it was very much like the xenomorph from the legendary movie franchise Alien. Rose's friend said that it even resembled the particular xenomorph that came out of one of the stomachs of the original Alien crew. Obviously, that isn't the case, and we should all be grateful it isn't. But now, one has to wonder if this is a case of life imitating art, or art imitating life. Number 7. Mummified Sailor. Not all catches have to be fish, or even aquatic in nature. And trust us when we say there have been plenty of odd finds amongst catches that shocked even those catching it. For example, Fritz Bajorat went to sail his boat in 2009. He'd been going through some hard times, including splitting up with his wife. He was never seen alive again. Then, in 2016, A couple of fishermen were doing some work about 50 miles off the coast of the Philippines, and while doing that work, they came across the ship belonging to Fritz Bajorat. And inside it was Fritz, and he was completely mummified, which was very odd given that he was encased in water. The oddness of the find doesn't stop there though, because Fritz was found in his ship at the position of being right next to the radio. Given that no distress signal was heard from his ship when he disappeared in 2009, it's believed he was just resting there when a heart attack or stroke or other natural death happened upon him, and this was later confirmed that a heart attack took his life. It's still not fully known what exactly happened to him, but it is a catch that is most bizarre given all that happened, both past and present. Number 6. The Orange Creature. In Alaska in 2018, the family of angler Sarah Vassar-Alford were on what was supposed to be a basic fishing trip. However, things got very weird when they pulled up a creature that can honestly only be described as alien. It was bright orange, had all sorts of wriggling tendrils, and looked like nothing they had ever seen before. And one look at it will likely give you a similar curious feeling in regards to wondering what the heck you're looking at. Sarah took a video clip of the creature and posted it online for the world at large to see, and various people weighed in on what it was, and just as importantly, what it wasn't. It's since been identified as a basket star, a species of echinoderm similar to a sea star, aka starfish, that hangs out on the ocean floor, using its spindly, spiderweb-like tentacles to ensnare passing prey. It's good to know what this creature is, so I don't see it in my nightmares later. Also, should you be curious of the fate of the creature, once the video was made, Sarah returned it to the waters of Alaska. Number 5. Coelacanth. One of the biggest wonders of the ocean is that we can't possibly know all that's within it, but we can guess based on fossil records and other sources. The problem though is that sometimes a creature is caught that boggles the mind simply because it was believed extinct. In this case, 65 million years extinct, or so people thought. Despite this extinct status, the coelacanth was rediscovered by a fisherman off the coast of Africa. This fish was from the Cretaceous period, back when dinosaurs ruled the Earth. As time went on and various changes to the Earth occurred, it was just assumed that the coelacanth was extinct, especially when fossils of the creature were found and no other fish in the water that we knew of looked like it. So this wasn't a case of a random guess leading to a premature belief, it was seemingly validated. Then, in 1938, a marine biologist found this long-dead fish while looking through a fisherman's hole, and not only was it a coelacanth, it looked exactly like the fossils that were found of its kind. But how is this possible? The answer is that humanity has sadly only mapped a small fraction of the ocean, and we're constantly learning more about it all the time. There are new species found in the ocean every year due to it not being mapped well, so it's not hard to imagine the coelacanth species simply not being noticed until a very lucky fisherman caught it. Eventually, another species of coelacanth was found in Indonesia, further proving that the species is alive and well, and that this bizarre catch was one that was very fortuitous to the scientific community. Number 4. A Dinosaur-Like Sea Creature. This particular catch happened in September of 2019 by a Norwegian fisherman named Oskar Lundahl. He went viral on the internet when he found himself looking at a fish that was downright dinosaur-like in shape and appearance. Its eye caught a lot of people's attention due to it not being the right size compared to other fish of its like. Oskar Lundahl nearly jumped out of his fishing boat when he pulled the strange creature onto his boat, and it's not hard to see why that would be. The man was fishing for halibut, and this is not that at all. He told The Sun, "We were looking for blue halibut, which is a rare species about 5 miles offshore. I had 4 hooks on one line and felt something quite big on the end of it. It took me about 30 minutes to reel it in because it was over 2,600 feet deep. As for what the fish honestly is, that would be a ratfish. It dates back over 300 million years, which indeed puts it in the realm of dinosaurs. And they are very special because they're known to not be caught by fishermen because they prefer to live in the deeper parts of the ocean. So this is a fisherman's tale that involves ancient creatures, a lucky catch, and a fisherman who likely hopes to never see anything like this again. And we can't blame him. Number 3. The Chimera Lobster. In Greek mythology, the chimera is a creature that had the body parts of multiple animals, including a lion, snake, eagle, griffin, and more, depending on the interpretation. In the real world, a chimera is defined as an entity with cells of two different organisms living and growing inside of them at the same rate, such as when a Japanese fisherman caught a lobster that had different colorations, ones that were perfectly divided down the middle of its body. Ironically enough, this kind of divide is natural for a lobster, as their body grows separately in each half, but to have this kind of a color formation, especially one this distinct and perfectly divided, is a rarity in and of itself. After it was studied and determined to be a chimera, it was given to Maine's Mount Desert Oceanarium, where it will live out the rest of its life. Still, even though it's a known entity in terms of what went on with this lobster, you can't help but think it's really bizarre. Number 2. Two-mouthed fish. As we've shown you, there are all kinds of bizarre fish in the world, but some of them are just bizarre because you've never seen their species before. However, there have been catches that go beyond that basic level of weirdness, such as when angler Debbie Getters went and pulled out a fish that quite literally had two mouths on it. In case you think it's a hoax, it's not. It's a very real fish and was proven to be that. After posting pictures of it online, people were very curious as to how it was born this way, and even how it lived with this unique deformity. Some said it was from an injury, some thought it was because of pollution in the New York lake that it was caught in. Another possibility was that this was a birth defect, which has been documented to happen in various fish over the years. It's impossible to know what caused it, but it happened. And it was very much alive when it was caught. You've got to wonder, are there more of these two-mouthed fish out there? Number 1. The one-eyed shark. Now, let's talk about a tale that was deemed fake right up until it was proven not to be. I'm talking about when a fisherman off Baja, California took pictures of a one-eyed shark and people immediately started crying out fake, which in this case, you can see why they would say that. The twist came in when a few weeks after the first pictures were taken, another set of them featuring the one-eyed shark appeared, and this time it appeared to have gotten some age on it. After some investigations by some real reporters, they found out it was a real one-eyed shark. However, there's even another twist here. It was a deformed fetus from a caught pregnant bull shark. How the deformation and albino coloring occurred wasn't clear, but it was clear that it was real and rare. One expert said that 50 of these kinds of creatures have been documented, so that makes it not only a bizarre catch, but an incredibly rare one. It just took a while for the catch to be believed, but better late than never. Thanks for watching, everyone! What did you think of this look at the bizarre catches that various people have made over the years? Does it shock you that these kind of things exist out in the waters? Which one do you think is the most bizarre of the lot? Or do you think there are other bizarre catches out there that'll put these ones to shame? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.